Okay everyone, the new Scream trailer has come out. It's Scream 5, but for some reason it just says Scream official trailer. Like, they're just calling it Scream for some reason. Okay, so let's get to watching this trailer, do my trailer reaction, then I'll give you my thoughts on the next Scream sequel.
This isn't funny, Amber.
Would you like to play a game, Tara?
Wasted no time there.
Doors unlocked.
Ooh.
All doors locked. Doors unlocked.
I bet he's gone through another door. Yep.
Hello?
It's happening. 3 attacks so far. Do you have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott. Of course I have a gun.
Something about this one just feels different.
How could it? Ooh. That was good.
I know who you are.
I've been through this a lot. This is your life now, which means that whoever this is going to keep coming for you. You ready for this?
There's certain rules to surviving.
The attacks were all on people related to the original killers.
Whatever his link is to our past, it's pulled us all back here. And I won't sleep until he's in the ground.
Hello, Sydney. It's an honor.
Okay, a lot of stuff I gotta say. First of all, shouldn't this be Scream 5? Wouldn't the E turn into a 5 or something, or a 5P behind his face? Why are they just calling it Scream? The first Scream is called Scream. Anyway, what do I think? Well, first thing I want to say is about the January 14th release date. That is not a good sign to me. January is normally the month when Hollywood dumps the movies they don't give two shits about into theaters. And I'm wondering, is this release date only because of the pandemic, so they had to shift the release date a few months and it just happened to land on January? Or is January the date they would have released this on anyway? January does concern me because that's where all the bad movies go. I never usually go to the theaters on a January because really there's nothing to see. So that concerns me. That really does concern me. But it's exactly what you would expect from a Scream sequel. So Ghostface is doing his stuff. They've done a very good job with this opening here. I like how they use the new technology. In Scream 4 they were using smartphones, which never existed with the first 3 Screams. Here they're using smartphones and they're using sort of like the door lock security, the automatic security, which again didn't exist back then, or if it did, it was only for super rich people. This is smart home devices he's basically using to unlock the door as opposed to just breaking through a door. So they're trying to refresh their techniques. Now, one thing which is really quite sad about this movie is that it is the first Scream movie to not be directed by Wes Craven. He passed away a few years ago. So this is the first movie that's not directed by him, and I would be lying if I said I cannot instantly feel it. Instantly I can just feel that this is not a Wes Craven Scream movie. It's trying to pay homage to his style, but this doesn't feel 100% like his. It feels a bit like a darker movie in a way. Like there's normally jokes in Scream, but they're normally to do with horror tropes in movies because, you know, like, this is, if you've seen Scream, you know that it basically plays on a bunch of horror tropes and it spoofs them and turns them over their head and makes them interesting. Here there's quips, like when she goes, "I'm Sydney Prescott, I always have a gun." That seemed a bit too one-linery to me. And I don't remember Scream really having one-liners. They had horror references and stuff, but never one-liners. I don't remember that, so that was a bit bizarre to me. You know, this bit right here.
Hello?
It's happening. 3 attacks so far. Do you have a gun?
I'm Sydney Prescott, of course I have a gun.
It's like, I get what she's saying, you know, she's always, the killer always comes for her, so of course she's prepared, but it still felt a bit one-linery. Like, she's an iconic character, we're gonna get her to say, yeah, I'm Sydney Prescott, I always carry a gun. There's just something a little bit artificial about it to me. If I'm not... I hope you understand what I mean. If you disagree, that's fine, but it just felt a bit one-linery to me. It didn't feel as natural as, say, the other Scream movies, and Wes Craven was very good at making their dialogue sound natural. It would sound a little bit like a movie line, but it never felt quippy. This felt a little bit like it was on that quip line, or self-aware line. So yeah, so our actors are of course looking older, looking older of course. There's one thing, I loved this shot. This was cool. How he wasn't behind and all of a sudden he was. That's some good camera work. And this is directed by the two people. It's directed by 2 directors. The 2 guys that directed Ready or Not, which was a really, really good movie. I really enjoyed that. The directors of that are directing this. And I'm really interested to see what they can do, because they are very good directors. Now, granted, they made 1 movie. We don't know if they're consistently good. We'll have to see. But I hope they do justice to the Scream franchise. Then we get our new characters. And I just watched a movie on Netflix which just came out a few days ago called There's Someone Inside Your House. That movie, it was produced by James Wan, and he should be ashamed to have produced something like that, because that movie was so terrible, mainly down to its characters and the reveal of who the killer is. It very much was like trying to rip off Scream in terms of its format. And seriously, the characters in that annoyed the crap out of me, and I wanted them to die instantly. I was like, yeah, just get rid of all of them. I don't care about any of these. They're usually woke characters that are act very like the Wrong Turn movie I did a versus video of, where they're trying to be very woke and progressive, and it comes across as unnatural, and their characters just aren't likable. That's what it comes across as, and I really hope that these human characters we have here, these new human characters that are most likely going to die, one of them might be the killer, they do come across like that. And again, this did feel a bit one-linery. I liked it. This one I did like, though, but it did feel a bit one-linery when she goes, "You ready?"
You ready for this?
It did seem a bit one-linery, that was one thing, but I think that's these directors. It's just the way they have the actors deliver these lines. This one, that one there, though, was more natural. I'll say that. I did like it more than I didn't. One thing which I got the vibe of, oh, and by the way, the guy from The Boys is in here. There's Dewey. Dewey does seem like he's really kind of gotten old. Like he's struggling to sit or even to stand in that scene earlier when he was talking to Sydney. One thing which I don't know if they're gonna do is that I think they might kill Dewey off. You know, I really do think they will. Like, there's the gun scene. Oh, I like that, breaking the leg. That's new. Did I just miss it? Let's see. Yep, here you go. Right here. Is this Sydney stopping Gale from rushing over to Dewey? I think Dewey dies. That's what I think it is here. And I really wish he didn't, because in terms of characters that have the biggest connection to Sydney, I feel like from the first movie onwards, he is more of a better sort of like companion side character, supporting character for Sydney. He has been throughout all these movies, so it'll make his loss, you know, carry more of an impact and more of a weight. But if the franchise does go on for future movies, I would be far happier knowing it was him and Sydney as opposed to Gale and Sydney. I really would feel that. I think they are going to kill him off, though. And I really hope they don't. I mean, I think it's about time one of the characters does die, but I really hope it's not him. I really hope it will be Gale. That's what I really hope. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Yeah, we will have to see. But yeah, this does look really good. Whether it's warranted, most likely not. They just make these for sequel's sakes, but let's hope it's good. I don't know. I hope the killer... I liked the killer in all the previous movies. I think the second movie is the only one I thought the first killer reveal was not as good. But the rest I did like the reveals. I did. But yeah, this is the first time. For those of you that don't know, when Wes Craven directed the 4 Scream movies, he did not want his actors to know what the ghost-faced killer, the actor who does the voice of the ghost-faced killer, Wes Craven did not want these actors to know what he looked like. he did not want them to know what he looked like because he wanted that mystique to sort of like add fear basically for them. So there's like a distance between them and the person playing the Ghostface killer. So every single time they hear him over the phone and speak to him live when they were recording and filming the movie, their scenes in the movie, he wanted them to be unsettled. It was only a couple years ago at a con where the Sydney actress Neve Campbell actually met the voice actor for Ghostface. And so this is the first Scream movie where she has actually met him. So I wonder if that will impact her performance at all when she's speaking to him over the phone now that she's met him. And also a fun fact, do you know the voice actor for Ghostface is the same voice actor who did Mojo Jojo a few years later? Yeah, so who would have thought when we were watching Powerpuff Girls as kids that the voice actor for Mojo Jojo did something as adult and scary for us kids as Ghostface? That kind of blew my mind when I found that out a while back. And yeah, if you look up videos on YouTube where like there's cons and stuff, you'll actually see that he actually switches the voice of the Scream voice and the Mojo voice, and he actually does one of the Ghostface dialogues with Mojo Jojo at one point. It's a bit of a game, really. Do you think you can handle that, Blondie? He actually does that in his Mojo Jojo voice. So yeah, my only concern is that Dewey might die. I think this should still be a fun movie. The directors that are directing it, I'm very happy it's the Ready or Not directors, because I like that movie a lot and they did a very good job. I hope they're able to balance the comedy out well, because they did in that movie, but Scream is a very unique, different kind of comedy, and I really hope they can pull that off. But when it comes to the horror, I know they'll be able to do that well. If you look at the way the movie is shot, and just the way it looks, this looks more like their movie than it does a Scream movie. It really, really does. It's got a darker grit sort of like look to it. Really it does. It doesn't look like the other Scream movies. It looks more horror-ish in a way. Which does take away a bit from the Ghostface killer, because when you do see him like right here, he doesn't have the exact same look that he did in the Wes Craven movies when he would like show up in a doorway and stuff, or down a hall. But yeah, the movie looks interesting. It's coming out in January. Whether I see it in theaters or not, I don't know. I'm very, very picky about what movies I go to see in theaters due to the pandemic. I don't want to go for just any movie, you know? The only movie I've seen in the pandemic right now was Tenet. And there was one more, but I can't remember it. I saw one more. Was it A Quiet Place 2? That was it. Tenet and A Quiet Place 2 are the only movies I've seen in theaters during the pandemic. And the only other movie I intend to go see in theaters is The Batman, for myself. I intend to go see The Batman even during the pandemic. That is the only movie I want to go see. However, for review purposes, because you guys, you know, I need to do a versus video on this, I will most likely see Spider-Man No Way Home as well. But not for myself. I'd wait personally if it was for myself. I'd wait for it to come on Disney Plus or something. I'm only going to go for that so I can do the versus video for you guys, so I can complete my trilogy of Spider-Man versus videos. But if it's for myself, the only movie I would go to see in theaters right now, given the times we're in, is The Batman. I would not go to see anything else. So, yeah, that's my thoughts of the Scream trailer. It looks good. I like the directors they got. I don't know if the writers or the composer for the movie is the same writer and composer for the first 4 Scream movies. The writer for Scream 1 and 2 did not come back for 3. He did come back for 4 though, and I hope he's come back for 5 right here. The composer was the same, Marco Beltrami. He did Logan, and he's done Scream, all the Scream soundtracks, which were fantastic, especially Scream 2 and 3. They had amazing soundtracks. And yeah, he's coming back. He did come back for 4. I don't know if he's coming back for 5. I really hope he is, because he's done a lot of horror movies. Scream was actually his first horror movie that he composed. And then he was known as the horror guy after that, I think. So that was interesting. So yeah, I really do hope that they try to bring as much of the key players back. If Wes Craven is not here, I really hope they bring everyone else. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Scream trailer. Thanks very much for watching this reaction video, guys, and apparently a Home Alone remake trailer has come out. We'll stay tuned for that trailer reaction, because I think I haven't seen it yet, but I've got to do a trailer reaction on that, and I'm not looking forward to seeing that, so that should be an interesting reaction. So, thanks guys for watching. I'll catch all of you very soon. Take care.